You're watching TelecomTV's exclusive video coverage of the first ever OPNFV Summit held here in San Francisco. And I'm joined now by Miguel, who is VP Wireless Network R&D at Huawei. Miguel, thank you for joining TelecomTV.
My pleasure being here. Yeah.
Can I ask you first of all, when we look at OPNFV, what is OPNFV's role within the wider NFV framework?
Obviously, that's the question that we're all trying to answer here. But you know, in essence, it's a couple of things. Number one, accelerate the adoption of NFV by the telco carriers is number one. Number two, we need a reference platform that for the carrier cloud type solution that brings together a number of upstream projects that up to now have been kind of running independently from each other. OpenNFV serves the purpose to bring them all together, create this platform, this reference platform for the telco cloud type solution. On top of that, OpenNFV is looking to fill the gaps, the requirements that are needed to create that type of solution for telcos, which then in turn fits the upstream project so that they can create the extensions required for that purpose.
So when we talk about OpenNFV, what does the open part really mean?
Well, open is a very big question, right? What is open? And at the end of the day, from the OpenNFV perspective, it's about an open platform for network virtualization, functional virtualization. And the idea is that we can create this framework, this platform, that people can come in and can plug different solutions into it. Will that be a product in the end? We can argue if OpenNFV will ever be deployed as is. But today it's really a framework, it's a platform that different vendors can use to try their solutions and try to accelerate the time to market. So that's the openness part. Plus, it's using open solutions from upstream, OpenStack, OpenDaylight, ONOS, etc. So that's the other part of openness.
So as a major telecoms vendor, what is it that you're contributing to OPNFV?
Well, Huawei is, I hate to give statistics, and I won't, but basically, we are a very large contributor to the open source community in general, either that be upstream projects or also in OpenNFV as well, where we have a large number of committers. We lead 11 projects of the 40 some odd projects that we have. We are extremely focused on ensuring that NFV and the open part that is a big trend in the telco carrier side now indeed takes place, because that will incentivize more investment on their part, create more revenue. Of course, hopefully some of that revenue will come to us, but that's the intent.
Are we on target? Are we meeting our timescales that we've set out for ourselves, or do we? I hate to say this, but do we even have to work even harder?
Yeah, I mean, well, we can always work harder, right? So, but you know, OpenNFV, I am actually surprised to the success that it had. I mean, barely a year old. I heard some presentations today about this timeline, and there's a person from Red Hat that was discussing that. Even them were really amazed at the progress we've made. This is a testament to the people that are participating here, the telcos. The beauty of OpenNFV, in my opinion, is that there is an active involvement from the telco community, because this is indeed for them in the end, right? So there is a whole community with a real interest on making this happen, because they understand that this is something that must happen for them. You know, especially on the carrier side. We all had the IT side. We know what's going on there, but really creating a solution that is suitable for the telco side of the equation is very critical, and that's been shown through the efforts of all the different companies here.
Do you think it's possible to create commercial strength NFV using purely open source components, or will we actually end up with like a hybrid approach?
Okay, so I believe it's possible. It all depends what you define as fully open. If you look at Linux, for instance. There's many versions of Linux that are hardened, and is it fully open? Well, I mean, you get a foundation, and then you, through your tests, your integration, and everything else you do, you harden those solutions. So on the surface, yes, but at the end of the day, every company will put its own stamp on the final version, and in the way they test, they implement, they harden, they deploy, so on and so forth. So that's never going to be done on this type of community. There will be references here, but each vendor will have its own stamp and its own version, and that's how you get the carrier-grade solution. Yeah.
Huawei's got a number of labs, and it's innovating in the NFV space. What exactly are you doing in these labs? Because you're just saying, you know, each vendor's going to put their own little stamp on things and what have you. So what is it that you're doing? So
we have a number of labs in two spaces, well, many labs, but from the NFV perspective, you can claim 5 labs. Reality is you know, it's a mix, but there's 3 NFV labs. These are pure NFV labs where we can just bring third parties to run their services and applications in it, so the telcos can see what we can do with our products. On the OpenNFV side of the equation, we have 2 labs. One here in California, in Santa Clara. That's one of my labs. We just got it up and running this past week, as a matter of fact, so we are open into the community. From the OpenNFV perspective, the intent is to open these labs to the community. So we will build the frameworks. We will have the OpenNFV running with our installers and other DevOps, which are very critical, that are needed to be able to install, run, and load applications, so on and so forth. So the community can come in and try it. And what is the community? It's pretty much anyone that feels the need. There will be other community labs. Intel has announced one already a long time ago, HP, and so on and so forth. So it's a matter of each of us looking for partners and ecosystems that we can use to really understand how OpenNFV fills the gaps that are on the telco carrier cloud space, and then be able to deliver a solution at the end of the day in partnership with others.
And are you seeing that telcos in general are getting NFV and OpenNFV, or are they not so concerned about an OpenNFV?
Well, obviously, I mean, we have many platinum members here that are telcos, so clearly they believe open is good for them, and we agree with that. It's also good for us because we cannot do everything ourselves. I think AT&T has demonstrated through some of their efforts that having an open solution over time will create more competition, more value. You look at the Android system, you know, the reason why it's successful is because you got millions of people that can develop and sell and plug into those platforms. That is the ultimate goal and objective that you might have. Obviously, in the telco world, it's slightly more smaller and different, but at the end of the day, it's a similar model, right? So openness is good. It's good for business creation, it's good for innovation. So yes, I think having a full open solution from the telco side of the equation, it's very important. NFV, on the other hand, brings other benefits, right?
Sure.
So you will have both. You need the virtualization part because of the cost area and the flexibility and the agility and all of that, plus the open part where you can bring solutions and innovations more quickly. What
can you tell me about Huawei's Fusion Sphere and how this all fits in?
Yeah, well, Fusion Sphere is our OS. It's based on OpenStack. We have been building extensions to Fusion Sphere to support carrier-grade solutions. OpenStack also came from the IT world, very focused on IT data centers. On the other hand, Fusion Sphere has been built to really support both telco and also on the enterprise side. It's the foundation for many of our V products, all right? So our VPC, our VIMS, so on and so forth. We have some demos here for VIMS and VPC. So that's the foundation for our development. We are now trying to bring OpenNFV together into that as well, so that we can take advantage of this effort that we have here.
Yeah. Do you think that all network functions can become virtualized, or are we just going to fall a little bit short, so going 90%, 80%?
I think the jury's out on that. I do believe that yes. The answer is yes. I think creativity and time will get there. What is virtualization, right? It could be very, I mean, you can virtualize by simply running on CUTs and having, VMs, right? So in theory, you could run all of it. For some applications, you will need acceleration, you will need other things. You have to get all of that in place, right? But over time, I do believe that that'll all be possible. Yeah.
So in summary, Miguel, OPNFV Summit, more people here than we thought a few months ago. It's doubling the numbers. Very popular. Why? What is it? What's the attraction to this community of OPNFV?
This is the telco world. The telco was, really gasping for this type of forum that's really focused on delivering telco-grade solutions from the open source side. So we all have a big vested interest. Telco is they're a big consumer of our goods. So obviously every one of their suppliers needs to figure out a way to play here. And obviously the telcos themselves will drive requirements down to us. On top of that, all the upstream projects have to be, supported over time. Have to support this telco environment as well, the carrier environment. So they also need to be here. There is an interest on their part to be here. So it's a confluence, it's a convergence of many different interests. I am shocked myself of how successful this has been, and it's a great. I think it's great, and I really hope that we can continue to grow it.
Indeed, Miguel. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.